Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to day 2 of the 2018 Pokemon Malaysia VGC Regionals here at Damen Mall, USJ, Malaysia. I'm going to be your host for today, Aklif.
And my name is Hashiki Hanjaya.
And for today, we have none other than the top 8
top 8 players that have been through yesterday's really hectic
6 rounds of Swiss.
And today we have the top 8 players coming from several countries, I believe. We have players from Singapore, we have players from Malaysia as well.
And also from Australia.
Australia and also UAE.
Yes. So to recap, who actually top cut into our regionals is none other than at first standing Melvin K, second Wilson Fung, third Benjamin Tan, fourth Chris G,
fifth
and
fifth we have Jace Dio, and on the sixth we have Kevin Game. 7, none other from the UAE. We have Khalid Al Hurais, and Wan Akil is the last place with 4-2 on the 8th place.
Correct.
From Malaysia.
Yes, that's right. So all these 8 players will be battling it out today for a single elimination best of 3 match in order to make it through to the finals and possibly win this regionals for today. So before we start today, who will be streaming today for the top 8 matches is none other than our A category matchup, which is Akil at 8th place versus
the first place we have Melvin K.
Will also be streaming top cut matchup B, which is Chris G versus JSDO later on after we finish with Melvin versus Akil. But before we go on, so let's talk a bit about our top 8 players here, about Akil and Melvin. What do you have to say about Melvin?
Yeah, Melvin is right now currently on the top of the ladder in terms of championship points. Definitely one of the most consistent and also one of the greatest player in our region, in this region.
That is correct.
He also managed to reach the top 4 for the Latin America International Championships, which is a really big feat. Currently, his championship points, I believe it's more than 1,000 points. There's huge lot of difference with the number 8th.
So
he's quite
So he's been traveling around the world.
He's been traveling around the world.
You could possibly say he's a Mr. Worldwide.
Mr. Worldwide.
So either way, now we'll talk about Akil. Now Akil himself, he's a local player here in Malaysia. However, he hasn't necessarily been playing much this season, from what I know. But he has a few number of accolades in previous seasons, which mainly is 2015 and 2016, if I'm not mistaken. So in those seasons, he had top cut in most of the regionals and mid-season showdowns then. But now he's come back with a vengeance, and now he is here in the top cut, although cutting it quite close at 8th place, but still the most important part is he made it through.
Yeah, he made it through, especially I think we'll be seeing some interesting teams.
Yeah, we'll be seeing hopefully we'll be seeing quite interesting teams later in the stream today. So without further ado, let us once again congratulate all 8 players for making it to the top cut of this regionals. And we have here on stream none other than Melvin K versus Wan Akil. Alright, so
Melvin K is on your left side, on your left hand side, and we have Wan Akil on your right hand side. And
we see here Melvin's Ordino watching over him, hopefully
giving him good luck.
Yeah, giving him the blessings of.
Of course, Akil here is one of the local players. He wants to win the trophy.
Yeah, of course.
For his home country.
I think everybody wants to win in this case.
But we have the team. We have both of these players. Another matchup or showdown between a Singaporean and also a Malaysian. Once again,
classic causeway
rivalries in these two countries.
Right, but let's look at it first. Okay, so we have on our left side here we have Melvin's team. Shaggy, please take over.
Yeah, Melvin's team is revolving around a Milotic, Tapu Koko, Landorus Terrian, Charizard, Tapu Lele, and also Snorlax.
So, and we have for Akil's team, we have none other than also a Charizard, a Tapu Lele, a Drifblim, Snorlax, Kartana, and Landorus. So, a little bit into Akil's team first. So, we know that Akil is also running an archetype of the Drifblim Lele, or the Lele Blim as they call it.
It's actually pretty famous in 2017, but not. I mean, the popularity surely has been going down.
It was a bit of a mainstay in the late meta for 2017 with the Psychic Seed on the Drifblim, boosting its speed with Unburden,
Tailwind,
and also its special defense.
A good special defense, and also can do some chip damage from the Shadow Ball. It's really one of the good combination.
Yeah, it is, but the problem that it usually ran into was that if other opponents usually like would set up trick room, etc. So now we're going straight into the match. We didn't really manage to talk about much about Melvin's team, but as always, having the core of I think having Tapu Koko and Landorus usually very switch based with U-turn and
Yes.
Volt switch, but we'll just have to see because here Melvin's running a very running two Tapus actually, both Tapu Lele and Tapu Koko. So Melvin might not want to bring Tapu Lele in this case because you know what? Never mind, he brought Tapu Lele anyways.
So we have Tapu Lele and also Drift Flame as the lead from Akil.
Yeah, this is
A common lead.
Yeah, this is a very common lead with that kind of team archetype because you need the psychic terrain to give Drift Flame its unburden and as well as the psychic seed boost. So the idea is usually what you would do, you would set up Tailwind this turn.
But I think both of these players have been quite familiar with the playstyle of each other's, as well as this is like in the day 2, so they have like one whole day, the whole night for them to think about this match. How are they going to win the game?
It's going to be quite difficult since Melvin of course is a player of extremely high caliber, but Akil is of course I would say he's a dark horse himself. Like he's not someone to be underestimated. We'll have to see how it goes here. Now the
And
thing,
also any of Akil's team has not been revealed.
none of
up till
Akil's
now,
team
yeah.
has been revealed. Neither Melvin, to be honest. Like none of his team has been seen on stream for both players. So as you can see, a very obvious
Standard.
this is the usual play from it. Yes, as you said, standard. You have to protect Tailwind, but we go with the U-turn on Landorus. Now I expected this. Now he will want to definitely switch into, let's say, a Snorlax into this because it can take the attacks better, special attacks better, or maybe he would want to have his Tapu Koko at the back. Kartana also pretty fine,
Kata is also
but instead he switches into Charizard.
interesting choice. And we see the Psykim Z.
So the reason why behind Psykim Z is that depending on the build of the defensive spread of the Drift Flame, Psykim Z under Psychic Terrain has a chance of KOing.
Yes, but then again, let's see if
If it does, yeah.
it does pick up the K onto the Drift Flame after the boosted
from the Psychic Terrain.
from Psychic Terrain.
But I think even if it dies, it's fine because it's already set up its Tailwind. Now the main issue coming here is that what will Akil want to bring into his slot? Maybe his own Charizard. I think Snorlax is also fine in this case, but Snorlax would not. If he brought Snorlax, he would not be able to use his. He would not be able to utilize Tailwind properly. I think in Landorus is also pretty okay, but instead opting for his own Charizard. Both of them being shiny, so
both of them being shiny, both of them are being Tapu Lele.
Yeah.
It's just like different side.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, it's left side on both sides. Charizard.
yeah, technically they are on the
Mirroring.
same side. It's just mirrored. It's not mirrored. It's like on their
their
perspective of what is left and right. So what's interesting here is it depends. I'm not sure exactly whether Akil is carrying Charizard X or Charizard Y. Now Charizard Y is a more popular
choice.
It's a more popular choice because it's more consistent, and the boost from the sun allows you to have more defensive spreads and or speedier spreads. You don't necessarily
And
have
actually,
to invest a lot in special attack.
Higher power.
Yeah.
In terms of like heat wave of
Correct,
power or
yeah.
overheat, but we see that the Melvin cares. A Charizard is being sent back.
Switching into Landorus, if
Going for the Intimidate.
I suppose for the Intimidate. So maybe the reason why Melvin is actually switching into Landorus is because if it is a Charizard Y,
It's
actually it's
Charizard
Charizard X.
X.
So the Intimidate switching
Works.
was to actually reduce the power of Charizard's attack. Alright, so very clever play there from Melvin.
And the Flablets, -1 is going into the Landorus, doing tons of damage. 50
Maybe he actually did expect to switch in and he's going for it anyways. So Psychium Z, maybe what he's doing is that he's covering all his options here. So in the case where, let's say that he goes for Flablets into Charizard and Charizard doesn't switch out, then he'll hit him with the Psychium Z. But it's a little bit of a
overkill.
yeah, I would say. Since
I don't think that the Landorus is actually being needed in the late game.
it depends.
Suppose. It depends on the one that kills Pokemon in the back.
For Melvin, his Landorus of course plays a big role in causing a lot of damage, but here we go, because of a simple Psychic boosted by the Psychic Terrain, KOs Akil's Mega Charizard X. And I guess that's the problem with Akil. What he did is that he went all in for the double target into that one slot. He expected a switch, but however, the issue came where he could not defend any of his Pokemon. So his Charizard X was sacrificed because he ignored the Tapu Lele.
But then again, here we have the Tapu Lele and also Landorus from Akil's side, while Charizard is coming back onto the field with the Tapu Lele that has been going on around
So
since the first round.
It's been revealed that both Tapu Leles actually carry Psychium Z in this case, and Tailwind should be petering out in the next turn.
Yes. And so right now, Tapu Lele and also the Landorus are faster, and Charizard just wants to protect, wants to burn that.
Yeah, wants to burn those Tailwind turns, of course.
And the Psychic.
So Psychic, like actually going straight into the Tapu Lele side, still doing quite a bit of damage. Does about 45% damage, even after resistances, showing how much power Tapu Lele has, including the boost from the Psychic terrain. And the Rock Slide actually having a very unfortunate flinch, because a Psychic from a Tapu Lele has a very high chance of doing a lot of damage to Landorus T.
And yeah, I think it's pretty good. I would say the flinch methods in this case.
The flinch method, because now Akil is playing on his back legs, I would say.
Yes, but with the Tailwind.
Yeah, the Tailwind will be outlisted. See, the turn of, so this will be the last turn of Tailwind. And he's actually switching in Charizard because he wants to conserve it. Switching in Tapu Koko. Fair call, I would say, but I think what happens is the Tapu Lele definitely protects. Oh, actually no protect from coming from the Tapu Lele.
Just Moonblast directly into the Tapu Lele, picking up the KO.
Does the Tapu Lele not have protect then, or is he just not wanting to use protect? Oh, actually,
Rock Slide.
A little bit unfortunate there, but I think in the long run, it's still fine.
I mean, he got a flinch.
Yeah, I guess.
Also, it's like, it's a pretty fair trade-out.
Correct. Yeah. So what I would expect there is that he would actually Psychic into the Tapu Koko slot and actually Rock Slide and hit and possibly KO the Tapu Lele. But maybe unexpected of the miss, he went for the Moonblast instead.
Yep. But then again, we have an interesting. Both players only have 2 Pokemon left with Tapu Koko and also Charizard.
Yeah. So
Akil
has yet to Mega Evolve his Charizard.
Yes.
And if it is a Charizard Y, I guess that will be like good. Yeah, it is a Charizard Y because you conserve your Sun turns. That's the thing.
We have 5 turns in the Sun. Next 5 turns, if it's not finished in the next 5 turns.
Correct.
Hardly to believe, but we have the draw coming in. The Sunlight Turn Harsh protect from the Tapu Lele. Doesn't want to get any damage.
Yeah, doesn't want to get unnecessary damage.
Unnecessary damage. The Thunderbolts.
Yeah, because that's the only thing it can do. Like if it uses. Ooh, actually going for a Tailwind. That's a very smart play coming from Melvin here. Bring a late game Tailwind to Tapu Koko dodging those rocks.
But then again, the most important thing is the Charizard still surviving.
Yes, the Charizard will survive. Most Charizard Ys are built to survive one Rock Slide from a Landorus. So the idea is that it will allow it to have more turns to go back. So here,
with the Tailwind, so right now Charizard Y is pretty much.
Now, one thing that I would say is a little bit of an issue for Akil here is that because Tapu Koko had avoided 2 Rock Slides, so he's missing out on the chip damage then. Because let's say like if he actually gotten it, then he would have like had a higher damage count. Going for an overhit, possibly into the Landorus to try to ensure a KO. But the Landorus having an Assault Vest, actually surviving that. Going for a Psychic
onto the Charizard,
not wanting to miss in this case.
And probably an Earthquake will be coming out. Oh
no, Rock Slide. So
finally hitting it onto the Tapu Koko, 50% damage.
Yeah. And landing. Well, I guess for the miss you get a crit. But either way, possibly showing that it has a lot of special defense investment and HP, inclusive of the Assault Vest, to be able to survive not
overheat.
And overheat with a Zingling chip. So here I think Akil would definitely be able to take the win because Tapu Koko cannot KO with just Dazzling here. And let's say if Akil opts to Earthquake here, then he should be able to win. But
Dazzling Gleam,
like he's not gonna go for it instead. So now he's gonna go for a Moonblast into because Psychic is not. There's no Psychic terrain to boost Psychic. So Moonblast here picking up the KO on Tapu Koko because Tapu Koko doesn't have the best defenses. But we congratulate Akil for taking match 1-1-0. A little bit quite the stringer there, I would say.
It's actually quite how he just trade in the Charizard as is actually a pretty much good trade in for him.
Possibly. I mean, I wouldn't say he got like the best mileage out of it, but he got enough mileage in order for him to push through to his victory. That's the most important part because As you saw, like he lost his Drifblim very early, but that's fine because that's usually what happens. Uh, you would have Tailwind up, and then like you definitely you possibly just want, if you could die that turn, that would be the best because Drifblim doesn't have like the best sort of attack, yeah, and like once after you Tailwind, you're kind of dead weight depending on your opponent matchup.
And also depending on your move slot actually.
Yeah, of course.
Sometimes we can see such moves like a Shadow Wall chip damage. Sometimes we can see other attacks such as a knockoff sometimes.
Yeah, but the knockoff is only for mainly utility.
Yep.
Another one that Drifblim usually likes to carry is Sunny Day because in the 2017 meta, what happened was that there was Pelipper Golduck all over the place. So what happened is Drifblim actually outsped them and would be able to set up Sunny Day before. So once again, similar leads, Tapu Lele Drifblim versus Tapu Lele and Landorus here. So I'm just wondering whether Landorus will go for the same, whether Melvin will go for the same move.
What adjustment he will make.
U-turn and then U-turn and Psyche MZ.
And also Akil's are probably thinking like, just now he wasted that one turn protect from that Tapu Lele, and the Tapu Lele is actually not being targeted. So right now probably Akil's want to make a bit.
Maybe he will want to attack, but like he might also be and there's actually no protect coming from any Pokemon at all. So Tapu Lele here going straight up for the damage. Landorus going for another U-turn.
So same moves until now.
Yep. So Melvin here going for the same one, but because he used the U-turn now, he would definitely want to switch in a Pokemon that could potentially absorb a Psyche MZ, but and
Snorlax
it would have to be Snorlax to be able to do it, because on Melvin's team only Snorlax can take very strong psychic attacks, very strong special attacks
because of the high
base HP and high base special defense.
Right, and the Shadow Psych.
But it is definitely going to proc that barrier, I believe, because
this is to the Drifblim.
Yeah, this is to the Drifblim, so definitely expected, very similar to game 1.
Picks up the KO.
Yeah, picks up the KO. So for Melvin, it is important for him to conserve his Landorus, because the Landorus will play a big part in trying to stop the Charizard X, Akil's Charizard X from running amok.
Yes, and we see the second Shadow Psych in this very same turn. It's probably going on to the Snorlax.
Yeah, going to the Snorlax slot because like definitely expecting a switch there, but still doing massive amounts of damage onto it. Snorlax actually picking up the KO. Oh! Wow, okay, so interesting actually, from what I know, is that most Snorlax, it really depends on the build of Snorlax too. Like it can barely take a Psyche MZ from let's say from a modest, very high invested.
Yeah, probably it's like a modest because as we
Tapu
see
Lele,
that the Tapu Lele from Melvin is actually going first just now, and not to mention that Akil's is bringing a Tailwind, so probably he wants to make it into a bit more bulky and also high special attack rather than more speedy type.
Correct. So here's the thing that's happening now. Melvin opted to switch into his Charizard, which I believe he just wanted to, because he doesn't know what Akil would want to switch into, so he thinks that later he can switch into his Landorus. But the issue coming here is that Akil had definitely won the trade-off just now, because losing a Drifblim versus losing a Snorlax is a big thing, because Snorlax provides a lot of damage, potential damage,
and also one of the best Pokemon in the late game.
Yeah.
While Drifblim is very good in the early game, but a bit of a dead weight in the late game.
So I think here will be a double protect just to burn Tailwind turns. But here, just going for a Moonblast, just trying to rack up damage. I suppose like probably to expect switches from the Tapu Lele slot, but it's fine either way. So at the back, what I would assume is, okay, no, all 4 Pokemon from Melvin have been revealed already. Tapu Lele, Landorus, Charizard, and Snorlax. So for Akil here, I'm assuming that at the back would definitely be Charizard X here. So definitely Akil has a little bit of a better favor, but the game still is not yet over.
A better position, I would say.
Yeah, a better position. Now I'm definitely expecting Melvin to come in here with his Landorus from the Charizard slot, because he needs to intimidate off, and he definitely wants to conserve his Charizard for the late game.
Yes, and we see the Landorus is coming out, going for the Intimidate, especially onto Akil's side of Landorus with that -1 attack, going to nerf down that attack by a bit.
So going for a psychic, yep,
onto
definitely
the Landorus.
predicting the switch there, and the rock slide would, if it hits, it would definitely KO. So Melvin here caught in a pinch, really. Actually, no KO.
Not KO.
That Intimidate playing a big role there. So
And no flinches, the psychic onto the Landorus, probably predicting. It's actually a good quite investment. It's not even reach until the 50% bar.
Yeah.
So it's a 3-hit KO probably.
definitely. But if you combo with let's say,
Landorus.
with the Landorus rock slide, definitely it's going to be a 2-hit KO after this.
And the tailwind is still up, so
So it depends, like
Akil still has one more
yeah.
turn.
But that psychic did a lot of damage, so this definitely shows that the Landorus on Melvin's side is not an assault vest. So as long as Akil's Landorus can launch off one last attack this turn, he should take the victory in the bag.
Yes.
Oh, actually the
But the
because of the tail,
with the
the tailwind manages.
managed to outspeed the
That's an important thing because due to this, he will now be able to bring his Charizard X freely. So net rock slide doing
And the critical
a critical
hit.
hit
And
and
the
a flinch.
flinch.
That is extremely unfortunate for
Melvin. Extremely unfortunate for Melvin, and right now we are down to 3-2 with Akil still has another Pokemon back, still unrevealed, and Melvin is only left with the full HP Charizard Y and also Tapu Lele.
It is not going to be easy. Okay, the only thing that I can expect now is he has to definitely pull a tailwind this turn, or he has to try to pull a tailwind, because if he doesn't, then it's going to be extremely difficult. Another thing he could do is like maybe Heat Wave and then Moonblast into the Tapu Lele, but I don't think that because the Assault Vest of the Landorus, the Heat Wave could possibly not pick up the KO.
But probably his best choice is that Tapu Lele could attack and hope for a KO onto the Landorus while the Charizard sets up the tailwind.
Yeah, Akil here definitely just needs to go for an attack right now, and it was really extremely unfortunate for Melvin to get hit by the crit and the flinch as well.
And the Charizard decides to Mega Evolve, gaining that attack boost, a special attack boost, and also defense.
A little bit of bulk, a little bit extra bulk, a little bit of defense, a little bit of special defense there, and no changes in speed from what I know.
Yes.
And special attack boost, which is the most important.
And the Tapu Lele uses
Going for
Moonblast.
Yep, definitely going there. He wants to just rack up damage now. So
With the special attack
wow.
file going to be huge probably, and the Heat Wave is going to connect onto both of these two Pokemon.
Not enough to KO the Landorus because of the Assault Vest.
And the Rock Slide is there, and if no, there is no miss.
No miss.
So it's going to connect onto these two Charizard.
The Tapu Lele definitely going down, and at the back, if I am correct, would be Akil's Charizard X, and yeah, there'll be the vengeance of Charizard, I suppose. So that's the thing. Although Charizard Y, the irony is that Charizard Y works more consistently in almost all metas because it works really well. Its ability really enables it to do a lot of damage. But when faced against Charizard X just downright beats on it because it has the better typing, has access to the right moves, I would say, like Flare Blitz, and like also, which more importantly, Dragon Dance as well.
And the Flare Blitz from the Charizard X is actually
Going in,
passing right now onto the Charizard Y with the Boosted Sun, picks up the KO.
Should still pick up the KO, and
so Akil.
Yeah, Akil takes the victory in the top from this top 8 match against the top seeded player Melvin.
Top seeded players, Mr. Worldwide.
Mr. Worldwide.
It's a bit unfortunate on the Rock Slide.
It's a little bit. There's a little bit of luck element there, and but you know, this is how the game Pokemon works, which is quite unfortunate.
But I also do believe that if it's actually at least if there's no flinch, it will be still a really hard game for Melvin to
a little bit more difficult, but like
still
he will be able
uphill.
to launch off a psychic. I think that's the most important. A psychic or a
Psychic
Moonblast into the Landorus slot, so the Heat Wave can actually pick up the KO in the next turn.
Still a bit difficult, especially at the back. We see that there's still the Charizard X. The Charizard X proves to be like a good counter for a Charizard Y.
It definitely is a very good counter against Charizard Y because it has the better matchup, better typing, has the right moves, has Dragon Dance, and actually the Sun also boosts the Charizard X attack. So now the one main thing that's gonna happen right now is whether or not Akil can carry on this momentum of victory into the next matches, because like I said, Charizard Y does better in the more common matchups against other megas, against other teams, but against Charizard X, of course, I would say there's a higher chance of it losing.
And Charizard X needs a bit more support rather than Charizard Y, I would say.
Yeah, definitely needs more support, because
needs more support. That's why it doesn't really fit well into most teams.
Because if
other than like Charizard Y, you put into some teams, it's actually kind of work.
Yeah, Charizard Y can stand on its own, but Charizard X requires a lot more support from its team. A lot more. You have to build around Charizard X. But either way, we would like to congratulate both players, but also for the amazing game. But also we congratulate Akil for making it through to the top 4 of our Malaysia VGC regionals here. So we will catch you later with our winners interview. Yeah, with none other than One Akil. But before we do, we would like to also update you guys on the other top cut matches, where we had Benjamin versus Kevin game, and he had won 2-0 against Kevin, so he's going to the top 4. And Khalid and Wilson's fight match is still going on. After this, we will be streaming Chris G versus JSDO on stream, so catch up for that. Yeah,
against
Australia versus Malaysia. But before we go on, we'll catch you later with our winners interview with One Akil.
So stay tuned.
See ya.